There's a brand new term called soaking that I want to wait till. I was trying to wait till a little later in the show to get into this.
Okay. How much more later? How bad is it? It's the Mormons.
This is an after 9 o'clock story.
Okay, what's 9:02?
I will tell you that it's a sex act.
That the Mormons do?
Yeah. It's an act known as soaking. Its hashtag has some 25.5 million tags on TikTok to date.
Okay.
And it's something that would certainly cross over outside the Mormon religion.
Okay.
Do you want to take a guess at what soaking is?
I don't. No.
So you know the Mormons have very strict intimacy. You can't touch under the clothing. You can't touch on top of the clothing. You can't do anything.
Well,
until you're married.
And then you can procreate.
Yeah, but you ain't allowed to do anything until you're married.
Oh. Go ahead.
You want to?
No, go ahead.
You got an idea here?
Is it like a wet T-shirt contest?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's better than that. Soaking, and again, this is an adult version of our show.
So use your clinical words.
Kids should be at school.
Give the you got 10 seconds now. 1, 2,
Soaking
3,
is
4.
when a male places it in the woman's but doesn't move.
Oh.
No moving, no thrusting, no orgasms.
Okay. And the point is it?
Well, it's not cheating then.
Oh, you got to be kidding. Are you serious?
Much like we thought the Monica Lewinsky thing, is that really sex? I did not have sex with that woman.
Wait a minute. There's penetration and it's not cheat. What do you mean it's not cheating? What are you not cheating?
It's their way of getting around having. First of all, they think if they don't have an orgasm, it's not considered sex.
Okay.
If they're not in the motion or the movement of having sex, it's not really sex. It's just sitting there.
You just find yourself there?
You're just sitting there. You're soaking. You're soaking in it. Now, to get around...
God. There's so many things that are coming to my mind now I can't say.
It is another way that a lot of Mormons... and now other kids believe of keeping one's virginity.
Oh, okay. Now
because if it's in there and you're not doing anything with it, it's not really counted.
Oh my
as
God!
Sex.
And
that includes the other hole too.
Oh really? Are you reading that from like some? That can't be. It can't be.
While on my mission, this 36-year-old Mormon said, I had several discussions with my fellow missionaries concerning sex in general. Some talked about soaking. Some would discuss one way of keeping one's virginity, who wanted to remain off record.
Male virginity or female virginity?
Either one. I never practiced soaking. I was the sinner who actually finished the job. So he's like, once I got going, and I don't know how you could soak and not. So, in order to help, you would normally have someone stand on the bed and jump up and down.
What? To simulate thrusting?
Well, if you're just sitting there and you're not doing anything, and you're like, I'm not doing anything,
right?
And then someone's jumping on the bed, you're certainly going to move a little bit. But because you're not in
you get this? This is crazy.
Because you're not.
You're not thrusting, but you've been thrusted.
You've been thrusted. Someone's pushing you.
Somebody kicks you in the behind? Somebody's kicking you in the behind?
No, someone's just jumping on the bed. They can't touch you.
But they can't touch you.
No, they're just jumping on the bed, so the bed moves.
So you need 3 people to do this.
Mormons have very strict rules about touching over the clothes or under the clothes and no petting, so it's all very much against the law of chastity. It would still require the man and the woman to confess to their bishops to be able to become good standing members in the church if they do soak. They're making this, hey, listen now. 25 million is a hashtag in soaking. It still counts.
But, okay, stop. Petting is not allowed, but soaking is? Yeah. Or is soaking just...
All the parents of teens and young adults in the Mormon community are chalking it up to a dangerous form of misinformation being used to manipulate naive girls in college dorms.
Okay, good. Here we go. Thank God somebody's...
The primary concerns are that participating in it can make a person, especially girls, unworthy of participating in temple rituals, and that soaking and or jump humping...
Jump? Is that the bed thing?
Yes. Could still transmit.
Difference than dry humping, right?
Could still
Okay.
transmit STIs and result in unwanted
Yes.
pregnancies. Everyone I've spoken to is expecting the church to directly address it at some point in the near future.
How about like today? That is the biggest bunch of crap I've ever. I mean,
Looking back on my own days as a Mormon teenager, I don't find it shocking. All boys and young men were often trying to find workarounds like this.
This circles back to our last story.
It's a common and negative side effect of sexually oppressing large groups of people, many of which are raised in homes with parents who believe they shouldn't even discuss sex with their children because it will inevitably lead to children becoming sexually active. Don't talk to your kids about what's wrong because they'll end up doing it.
And take them to Hooters so they stay straight.
And they believe that no matter how pervasive soaking becomes in the community, women will always still be the ones suffering it if they engage. Even more troubling is that forgiveness for having participated in soaking or jump humping will likely come easier to young men than the young women who still viewed it as unclean, making them less worthy of marriage.
Oh, that's some. I mean, come on.
Well, I could see it for men because it was just there. I didn't stick it anywhere, and next thing you know, something was on it. It was like the first time
Wait. Whoa.
When I was 22 and I was
okay, but that's one scenario. What do you?
No, I'm saying I could see.
Okay.
I could see it from a man's standpoint that they have done nothing wrong. I was just sitting there. I wasn't doing anything. I fell asleep, and next thing you know, someone was on top. I didn't do anything.
But that assumes that she is on top of him, or he is on top of he.
Exactly. But the woman, again, this is a double standard. The woman has to allow it to go into the cave in order, and so if she's just sitting there and they accidentally,
dude.
Well, I mentioned my 22-year-old situation.
I know, but you're not.
I woke up in the middle of the night, and
you're
next
not
thing you know, I wasn't a virgin.
And you're not soaking.
I know, but evidently,
that's just something. Like, I mean, again,
it's one of those things where kids are trying to get around it, and they're like,
of course you're trying to get around. Like, of all the things to make it easy to get around or in.
Can you imagine? Do you remember using that line?
What? It's about soaking?
Let's just see what it feels like for just a second. Every guy out there watching right now or listening,
I'll
tell you. Let me.
Just
I know you don't want to, and I don't want to either.
No.
But let's just see what it feels like for just a second. If a guy ever says that to you, it's over.
If a guy ever says that to you, you say, no.
Well, I mean,
because
she obviously wants it then too, because she's not going to do it.
That's what I like about it.
I just want to see what it feels like just for a second.
Yeah, I know. This gets back to the whole weak.
Yeah.
It's just weak. You know.
You say that, but you were 17 at one point too.
No, but we're weak.
Yeah.
She's like, no.
Well, all 17-year-olds are weak, and women are weak too.
They're not as weak as men. They're not as. I mean, just think about everything. Think about everything you said, and the midriff, and the double standard. I mean, it is, and I don't. Some guys wear it like as a badge of honor. Well, that's who we are, we're animals. Other guys wear it as we can't help it, right? So there's a badge of honor kind. It's who I am.
Oh yeah, the minute you do it, you tell everybody. Yeah.
Right, and then there's the sort of weakness kind. I can't help it because I'm like hardwired that way.
Yeah.
Which is just a bunch of crap. I mean, like, again, this is what you've got a brain for. It's because you got a brain for. I mean, the thing about the soaking is if I'm the Mormon church and I'm like the elders or the scribes who are writing all this stuff, this is like what you said with the what's distasteful. Are they really sitting there going, yeah, well, that makes sense. Well, okay. As long as they're not moving.
It's their narrative. It's whatever
they're not moving. And then someone's like, well, what do they do? Well, what if somebody got on the bed? A third person who's there. Like, where's the third person coming from? Okay, they're going to get on the bed, and they're just going to stand there. Is that okay? Yeah, well, that's fine, because nobody's moving. What if they move a little bit, and their movement affects the couple? Well, that should be okay. Okay, well, hang on. What if they're jumping up and down the bed? I mean, come on.
Don't you love these kids?
Yeah, well,
Could you imagine trying to explain that one to the wife? That's the old bachelor party. I was sitting there and nothing happened. And next thing you know, I didn't know what was happening. I was drunk and I woke up and she was going, there was no intent. I don't know what happened. And it just.
Right. Because the zipper opened
the zipper opened and
it crawled itself out. And it was just looking for a place to hide. Right? And then what's worse is, I don't know if this is true. I mean, I'm assuming it's true because you read it. It's any orifice. This goes for... Okay, so that... I mean, come on.
If she's across the room yawning and something all of a sudden just happens, I mean, it's like... I ran into her. I went running across.
You can't.
I was going to get a cup of coffee, and next thing you know, she was taking a yawn, and it was like, and I don't know what. I was pull out. I was like, I don't know what just happened there.
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting about that?
These crazy kids.
No, you know what's really interesting about that? You as the guy have to be at blame because in order for you to be there, it's not only that she has to let you in, you have to be physiologically in a position to be in there. Right?
Yeah.
You can't just go, I don't know what happened. I was just sitting. No, you weren't just sitting there. Because what do you call yours, Mr. Peter or whatever? Or is that my prostate? Little Anthony and the Imperials?
Little Anthony and the Imperials.
Well, little Anthony was standing up straight. And like, so if little Anthony is...
Well, that's not his fault because that happens on its own.
Little Anthony is connected by your brain. It is his fault.
No, it's not because little Anthony is up 4 times a night, and I don't control that. That's how you check.
Yeah, but if little Anthony happens to be up, then you have control not over little Anthony, but what you do with little Anthony. That's where I think it's interesting on the soaking part.
I was just sitting there. I wasn't doing that. I was reading
but you
the book,
can't just say I was just sitting there because you weren't just sitting there. How did you find your way over there? And who is the person? Is there a name for the person who jumps on the bed? Is there like a title?
The jump humper. Do you remember dry?
Yes, that's why I was asking you. It was
God, it was so
painful. For everybody.
At the time, it wasn't really.
But it was for everybody.
I mean, I can only imagine.
Yes,
because that wasn't considered cheating because you left all your clothes on. It wasn't worse. It wasn't.
It was less than soaking.
There was no penetration. No, it wasn't. But I remember like having to go home and wash my clothes before my mom could get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I was like, "There's no way she's going to find these." I mean, I think I'll do my own load of laundry in that. Really, I mean,
Yeah, worry about
chafing. Do you do
too.
the tidy whities with the jeans?
Yeah.
But dude, that had to be painful to women.
Oh yeah.
That had to be painful.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know where we're going to pivot from this one.
We're here to help you parents out there.
That's right.
This
Great parenting advice. You know what?
We talk about ghosting and all these things, but soaking, if your kids end up having something about soaking, and it's evidently something they're going to have to look at in the church here soon because evidently
What do you mean soon? Like
25 million people have hashtag soaking on TikTok.
Now listen.
It's a real thing.
Now listen. If we had Dr. Misty Smith here, I do think it's an interesting approach to consensual intimacy. Like if you're a partner, what do you call it? Like jellyfishing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think
jellyfishing.
Right. So I think that is, if you want to be with your partner in a really intimate way and keep it in an emotional connection where it's not just this sort of...
And keep it technically virginal.
No, it's not.
No, but I mean, technically virginal is jellyfishing because you're not doing anything.
Yeah, but no, come on.
You're being intimate.
No, I know. No, jellyfishing, yes.
Jellyfishing
no,
is
I'm talking
big,
about soaking.
Yeah.
Soaking is not.
No, once the skin touches, it's over.
Like even that's like even some of our worst politicians couldn't.
You could technically be a virgin and jellyfish and be okay.
Clinton?
Jellyfishing, by the way, is when you dance around each other, but you never touch each other.
So if Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton jellyfished, I could see Bill Clinton saying, I did not have sex with that woman.
It'd be true.
Okay.
Technically.
But if and he had this whole thing, but if he was soaking, could you see him
the minute there's touching, it's over.
Well, it depends how you define
even if she
what
just
it is.
taps it. I think that's if she soaks it with her finger, that to me, first of all, it's not going to be a tap. But the minute anytime a man's skin touches a woman's skin, if we're talking about that type of intimacy, I'm not talking about hugging and kissing and stuff like that, then that's you're gone.
I really hope that this is not, we had a huge problem with STDs because teenagers didn't see, we've talked about this, teenagers didn't count anything that was not intercourse anything that was not intercourse was not having sex.
Yeah.
So you saw all kinds of problems with oral sex and, well, basically lots of problems with oral sex and herpes and all that kind of stuff. And again, you said this is the teenage mind. Okay, I'm not supposed to do this. Well, this is not technically this. Then my frontal cortex hasn't, evolved enough to let me think about it. But soaking, I mean, I can't imagine your teenager, boy or either boy, girl, gay, straight. It does not. You can't justify. Like, there's no argument. We weren't moving.
Evidently, 25 million people believe so.
No, but 25 million people are hashtagging it.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you what it is. They ain't all Mormons.
No.
They're not all Mormons. This is exactly what it is. This is Mr. I'm single. I got a great idea. No, you know what?
If you're in a loving relationship, it'd be a great starter.
You have a conversation.
Yeah.
You could talk.
Yeah.
You could look into each other's eyes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're with your lover or even your mate or you're married or something, this would be a great.
Or maybe you couldn't always look in each other's eyes.
This would be a great icebreaker.
Couldn't always look in each other's eyes,
depending on what the situation is.
You could talk.
It's something to
you could talk.
think about.